Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, it's Craig here again with another inbox review of this new Centurion AVRE by Amusing Hobbies. Somebody else has asked me to do this. I will have the Merkava with the mine rollers to do for somebody else wants that, and the M1 Abrams with full interior. So we'll do this one today, which is the new one from Amusing Hobbies, 135 scale, and it's the Centurion MK.5 AVRE, which is, this was in the first Gulf War. I didn't realise this, unless I've heard it wrong. I might be wrong. Sorry about the glare, but yeah, first Gulf War. So I didn't realise. But it looks a nice little vehicle. Well, it's little. It's quite a big vehicle. Yeah. So a little look around the box. We have side views of the vehicle there. Dark green, NATO green, and another green, and then we have like a sandy, yellowy Dunkelgelb, or not Dunkelgelb, yellow, and a green one there. Not too sure. And on the other side we have the plain green one. It's nice. It looks nice as well. And they said the kit number is 35A035, and it's Amusing Hobbies 135 scale. So a nice box art. It says it's got workable tracks, quality moulded in multicolours, and suspension designed to fit dioramas, so it's workable suspension, one would presume. Right, so we'll have a look at what's inside the box then. You see it's quite full of plastic, as you can see. So we shall just put this to the out the way for now, and we'll start bit by bit. I've got sealed bags on these ones. So the first sprue pulled out the bag is looks like running gear at the moment. All the wheels and things like that. Let's have a quick look. There's four sprues of these, and straight away you can see it's nicely detailed. Straight away. And again, same as the border kit, I can't see a seam line on the wheels, which is fantastic. If there is, it's minute. Yeah. So here's the first one. We have the wheels. And if you can see around the side, there doesn't seem to be any seam line on them for some reason, which is complaining at all, far from it. And then we have part of the bogie suspension, which is suspension of the bogies, I presume, and some small bits and bobs. Let's see, a shackle there, there's some shackle hooks and some other bits and pieces. Looks like vent covers, a couple of small return rollers, presumably. Well, that's a nice start. Yeah, so that's the running gear. Next one we'll pull out again. There's quite a lot of sprues in this box, so you just have to bear with me. Right, so we have here, we have a 30 cal. Looks like a bit of something to do with the turret, and a few more little bits and pieces. It's slide moulded, which is lovely, so there's no worries about hollowing out the 30 cal. So we have a slide moulded 30 cal. There we are. And we have a slide moulded. It looks like it's for the gun barrel. That's for mantlet. Hatches. On one side it's got a slight pinhole on that side, but that's no problem, you can fill that in, that's not a problem if you wanted to hatch open. A few box, I don't know what they are, applique armour, presumably, not too sure, and other bits and pieces, all lovely moulding again. So the gun is quite nice. I say it's slide moulded. Grab angles, little bits and pieces. And again, all nicely done. Another sprue. This sprue has also got the return, idler and the sprocket, and there's two of these in this bag. So again, nicely detailed, very nicely detailed. So we have the sprocket and presumably some more little bits and pieces. We have the slide molded cable, eyes for the cable. Again, they're slide molded, so we can fit your cable in there. Sprocket is nicely detailed again, and if we swap over the sides we can get the the idler wheel at the back, which is nicely detailed again. Now we have you're not going to see them once the sprocket's on that, so it's not a problem. There again, you've got that lovely, yeah, it's like a, if you look at it closely, you've got the nice cable effect on the sides as well. A lot of people miss that, seem to miss that. That's the part of the cable. And a clamp on the end of it as well. So that's quite nicely done. Right, first of the big sprues, we have the turret details by looking at this. There's the turret and the turret sides, turret ring, turret bottom, whatever you want to call it. And again, it's got that nice texture on it. A really nice texture on there. I don't know if it's the anti-slip, presumably it will be. I'm not too sure, or is it just the cast texture. There again, all nicely done. Commander's cupola there. So have a look at the start with the top there. As you can see, it's got a lovely texture on there. Really, really nice, and that's a nice touch with the cable running off there. Presumably it's like a light cable or something like that, which is a bit somewhat different. We've been saying that before. And on the other side of the cupola as well. And then we have the side views. Again, see that lovely texture again. And then part of the cupola. Some more small bits and bobs, and they're all nicely done as well. Yeah, all nicely done. Presumably these are storage boxes on the side. Well, yeah, sorry, there. Different storage boxes with a nice bit of detail on the side with the clasps. Right, next one. Another largish sprue. Where we have the gun barrel and looks like the applique armour on the front. I have to say that's really nice. Slide moulded barrel with rifling. It's lovely. It really is nice, nice touch. Turret basket. Not too sure what it is. It's part of suspension again, I suppose. But straight away you can see the detail on the front armour there. Really nice. And again, some of the reactive armour, more armour plating again with lovely detail, and we have the slide moulded barrel with the rifling, which is a really nice touch, and that looks really, really nice, that rifling. Really does look nice. And again with small bits and pieces. I think these probably for the running gear, I'm 100% sure, but possibly could be with small bits and pieces again. All nicely detailed, nicely done, and the basket again. Just be careful obviously when we're taking these things off the sprues, but hopefully shouldn't be much of a bother. And again, another nice sprue, nicely done. And then we have some another sprue, engine deck and mantlet cover and other bits and bobs again. That's nicely done as well, I like that. Everything's nicely done. There's a gun mantlet there, which has got a nice texture again, and we have part of the engine deck and the hatches. Engine deck there, some more armour. Again, nice. Nicely done. A sort of detail on this is really quite nice. Looks like the driver's hatch and radio operator or whatever is in there nowadays. I'm not too sure what those parts are for. until we get to instructions. But there again, you got a nice detail on there as well, which presumably I don't know what that bit is for. Side skirts? Not too sure. Got a nice detail on there on that part again there with the little wire coming out there, little conduit into something. Really nice, and the petrol cap on there. It's presumably very nice as well. So, right, next sprue. Which has quite a lot of plastic. And then we have, this looks like the sides, the sponsons and the front muck guards and the final drive and a few bits of tools, hammers, bars, shovels. And again, got that nicely done again on the final drive. And there we go, there's the rest of it. Really nicely done. And there are sponsons again with some of the boxes actually moulded on, which is quite nice. Again, all lovely, well, all lovely done, all really nicely done. And so we have the shovels, some other bits and pieces, little bits and pieces again. We have a hammer, it looks like a suspension, something like a suspension part. Where are we at? There, like a leaf spring, for something or other. All nicely done again. Nicely done. Can't complain with the detail and the condition of the sprue. It's a new kit, so you wouldn't expect it to have any flash. But sometimes you get the odd kit with a little bit of flash. And we have the side skirts. You stay up there. There. That's it. The turret ring. More hatches covers. All nicely done again. Side skirts. Presumably that's something to do with the engine pack. Couple of boxes. Other little bits and pieces again. I say they're all nicely done. Really are nice. Nicely detailed as well. Another kit I'm looking forward to building sooner than later, as I say. So that's the, I think that's the end of the plastic. Ah, sorry, not quite the end of the plastic. We have the lower hull, which is a sort of bathtub style, with no front or rear, but it's got the nice here to make it more rigid. What do you call them? Braces to make it more rigid. Quite nice, and it's solid, no warping that I can see anyhow. Not much detail on there, but obviously you get a lot of things to go on there. But yeah, nice. And then we have some springs. This is for the suspension. There's 2, 4, 6 metal springs. And then we have the tracks, which are all individual. Let me just see, I don't want to loosen it in there's no injection marks. Nice, I don't think it's quite see through the plastic. There we are. There you go. Detail on there, and push it around the other way. You can maybe tell that there's no injection marks. Not that I can see anyhow. Nope. So that's the bag of tracks. And then we come on to the other little bits and pieces we have in here as well. It's the decals and the photo etch. Decals look quite nice. Let's have a look what we've got. So we have the flags. I think it's Scottish and not too sure the other one. Is it Irish? Northern Ireland? Northern Ireland? Not too sure. Forgive me if I'm wrong. And I know that one's for the Scottish one, but that's Northern Ireland at the top. I may be wrong. We have those. That's for the flags, which are quite nice touch as well, and we have some divisional markings and little bits and pieces. Let's have a look at the decals, see if they're actually, it's going to be called Betty Boo, or doing the do. And there's not a lot of carrier film on there at all. In fact, it's cut that close you can hardly see it. I don't know if you can quite make it out. There's quite a bit on the V's, but we can cut that part out. You make them two if you want, into two decals, if you're that inclined to do it, but it'll look okay to me. You see just where they've been cut round the most of the other objects. So that's the decals. Presume they're decals as well, the flags. Let's see when we get to the instructions, it will say, one presumes. And then we have the PE, which is engine grills, and looks like a few, looks like something to do with the mud guards and things, like a suspension pattern, a suspension like a bracing again. It's nicely done. It's actually done by Amusing Hobby themselves, and it's really quite nicely done, as you can see. It really is. I won't take it out of the bag. But, yeah, really nice. So that's all the kit done. We can have a look at the instructions now. And so far so good. I'm impressed. Oh, so there's one more thing actually. We have a bit of cotton for the tow rope. Right, the instructions manual is in a booklet, and it's got the picture of the box art on there. Something called Booth 2019. Thank you for purchasing an Amusing Hobby kit. Do's and don'ts and the icons for whatever you need to know. First thing we have a sprue map, which is the usual sort of fare nowadays, telling you what we have and what we haven't got. And then we start off with a lower, well actually with the suspension first, with the springs, which is quite nice. They don't look too overly complicated either. Not at all. So we're working on those. I wouldn't attach them to that side at that moment in time. I probably wouldn't put the wheels on yet either, but I'll probably make the suspension blocks up and then leave the wheels separate until they're painted and whatever. So it's saying don't glue them on anyhow, so fair enough. Number 3 is carrying on with the final drive. There we are, final drive, and the wheels again, and then them sponson bits again, or whatever they are. And again, it's just telling you about some of the bits and pieces onto the side there. And working again, rotate C10 to adjust tax tension. So obviously this is for the idler wheel. So you can leave that off. Wouldn't glue it anyhow. I never do. I never glue I never glue the idler or the sprocket until the time once the track's on. And it's saying that the tracks are clickable, but we'll find out when we get to it. And it's 102 track links for each side. It gives you them and the direction to go in as well, which is quite nice. And some kits don't even give you the amount of tracks each side you need, so I'm just going to have a drink. My mouth's quite a bit dry. It'll be interesting to see if they do click together. Sorry about that. Now you say it's all lower hull again, it's putting the rear end on, building up again for the front. More stuff on the low hull again. It's all nicely detailed and nicely marked out. Not busy either. Some of the you thought it would have been a lot busier, but they're all broken down into, like, some of them only got 2 or 3 parts on each section, which, yeah, can be nice sometimes, but sometimes it's a bit, you know, monotonous that you want to do and then going on to another next section, another section. You could have put me 2 together, but I'm not complaining really. It's nice that you see clearly marked and things like that. And then again we start building up some periscopes. Start on the engine deck, placing that on the back, and the turret ring again, and then we're working on the front with some of the applique armour onto the front, the lights and light cages. Again, I say I won't have the tracks on by then. I'll see what they're like when I start building them. And again, when I got adding little bits and pieces to the sides for sponsons, the boxes, things like that. All again, same again on the other side. And the exhausts, Pioneer tools. I was saying about you can maybe cut. A15 needs to be cut out in the middle. See if I have a sponson. Says it's missing. Must be for a reason. Ah, it is, yeah, because you've got the extra armour to go on there as well. That's why you cut that piece out. Because I know they do a Centurion. They do a Centurion MK.5 as well, don't they? So it's probably a lot of them from the same kit, apart from the applique armour and things like that. So we're repeating again on this side with the exhausts and Pioneer tools and other bits and pieces. It's telling you to position of F1. Yeah, which is nice that they're starting to do this some kits now. And then we're starting again doing the other side with the taking off the sponson, sorry, the side skirts, taking that piece off. And I got the measurements of the 111 centimeters for the tow cables. Again, there's only four pieces to each. Sorry, 2 pieces for each tow cable. Was that one piece? 21. Yeah, I thought it was. And then we're starting off with the making the dozer blade, which looks fairly straightforward. Doesn't look overly complicated at all. Then parts I thought there were suspension parts, and obviously they're for the dozer blade. My apologies. And then we are attaching the dozer blade, and we're starting on the turret, drilling a few holes out, and starting to position things. It's fairly straightforward again. And then we're still carrying on with the turret. We've got some of the side bins. And we're starting to attach the turret and more side bins, hatch covers, periscopes, 30 cal, giving you positions of these certain things, and there's an exclamation mark there telling you about whatever the positionings they are for J33 and all the other bits and pieces. Yeah, that's just for the I understand it's for part on a J33, which looks like a cable reel of some description. You see that? We're number J34, 35 and 33, so it's some kind of cable thing. And then we're starting on the what I thought was engine grills. I'm going to go wrong again. It's for the turret basket. So I have to be careful how to bend those. That'll be quite intimidating, I suppose, but we'll work our way around it, as they say. Attaching some little bits, attaching the turret basket to the turret, and then on the front putting more armour on the actual turret on the top. And on the sides, again, I'm getting near the end now. Yeah, we got 2 more steps, 35 and 36 steps for it. Actually attaching some other little bits and pieces, and then we're attaching the turret to the lower half, and the build is complete. And we have the desert scheme. It tells you where the decals go, and it's got a Hesh 165mm Hesh shell there as well to build up. And there's the decals. So that's for the desert scheme. And we have the Batus scheme, or Batus scheme, which is the green colours. They're all done by MIG, light sand grey and camo green. And again, it's good that we get all the views, the top down and everything. And then we have the desert again, which is on the box art, and the other one is the green one. I said the 2 different greens, which is it green or is it black? 84. It's NATO green, the dark one is NATO green, and 46 is matte black, so it's black and green, not green and green. So we have the 3 options. I have to say I'm quite impressed with that kit, quite impressed. It's going to be a lovely build, something different. Yeah, I didn't realise that it was in the first Gulf War. When you go back to the 90s, like, so yeah, possibility, because the Centurion is probably the best British tank ever made. But I'm always surprised if some countries are still using it. I don't know if we're still using it in this sort of form or not, I'm unsure. But I have to say, it's a nice looking kit, well worth the money. Another build which I'll look forward to. Hopefully this year I'll get more done this year. I'm feeling sort of getting better each day. So I'm working on the Churchill seal at the moment. I'm just getting to the final weathering part of that, and then we're going to go on to the diorama, get the trees done, and I've decided to put 3 or 4 figures on now, so I've got them made up. And I found something that I'm going to try it. I'll try it on a sort of standalone video if it'll work. You know, if your wife or anybody got these drying sheets that you put in your tumble dryer, and I was looking at them, they say when I got some washing out the dryer, and I was thinking, I wonder if they'd be any good for, like, for de-stressing, you know, spraying it onto your, you know, you can, disposable ones obviously, you can, you know, tape it over your tank or wherever and spray, because you've got that, you know, a fine mesh. Look at that. I'm going to try it on a piece of paper to start with, but I'm going to give it a go. It might work, that, because it's got the holes through it, and they're all sorts of different sizes and things like that, so I'll give it a go and see what happens. I just thought I'd throw that out there, see if anybody thinks it's a good idea. So I'll give it a go, and I'll let you know how it goes on. I may do a video to see if I'm working for time. I thought I'd just throw that in there at the end of this. So I'd like to say thank you very much again for your lovely comments and support through all this difficult time of the year. Even more difficult now with what's going on. We're in full lockdown, we can't go anywhere, can't go out the door, this, that and the other. So we're all keeping well and staying safe and well. So this is Greg signing off, and we'll see you very, very soon. One thing, I'll keep putting my good friends, he's got a little website run up, he's adding his 3D stuff to it. Always leave it in the description box, just to click on the link and follow that, and it'll take you to he's adding things most days, so if you want anything like that, have a look. And it's really cheap, really cheap. It's you know, he's not ripping anybody off. It's more of a hobby, but it's nice that you can make a little bit of money out of it as well at the same time. So pop along, giving you support, and you'll see some of the stuff as you've seen from my things that he's given me. So I'm starting to rabbit on now. So obviously Greg signing off, and we shall catch you very, very soon.